Howdy, and welcome back to the Xbox Hut. You see, I've owned the Xbox One for 6 months now, and I am very familiar with it, which means it's time to do the inevitable. Comparing consoles. Let's start with the physical appearance. The Xbox One is huge. I mean, look at this. It's actually 4 times the size of the Wii U, 2 stacked and 2 across. Fortunately, despite its size, it's not as ugly in person as it is in pictures. Once you have one, you can tell it was designed with cooling in mind. On the other hand, the Wii U lacks any sort of presence and goes almost entirely incognito. And that's actually kinda cool. Okay, perhaps it could have used a little more style. But this is the ultimate stealth console. These two really are on opposite ends of the spectrum in appearance. But I have to give this one to the Wii U. You see, the Xbox One is a bit of a space hog and cannot be placed vertically to make up for it. Winner? Wii U. Let's have a look at the user interface. The initial look and feel of the Xbox One interface is clunky and unintuitive. It is unfortunate that a company with so much pedigree in operating systems created this custom version of Windows 8 and made it less intuitive than its full-on counterpart. In fact, one of the least intuitive things is that if you don't pin your games and you didn't play them recently, you have to go into your games and apps to find it. The Wii U, on the other hand, has a great advantage with its gamepad. Not only is the interface incredibly easy to figure out, but all of your apps and games are present like on a smartphone. It also has folders for organizing, and the reality is that navigating the Wii U is far simpler, faster, and easier by a long shot. The use of the gamepad to navigate is also far more intuitive, but Xbox One's Smart Glass app does provide a far superior keyboard powered by your smart device. So the gamepad and Smart Glass kind of balance out when interacting directly with the UI. Winner? Wii U. Next we talk about the stuff y'all kids only seem to care about these days. The size of the penis, the hardware. Now I know we all talked about this before, but let's go over it again for the new people. The Xbox One has an 8-core CPU with 6 cores dedicated to games. It also has 8 GB of DDR3 RAM with 5 GB for games. It also has a 1.32 teraflop GPU, so in raw power alone, the Xbox One is the winner here, as the Wii U has a 3-core CPU for games. The OS runs on a separate ARM processor, and 2 GB of RAM with 1 GB dedicated to games, and an unknown GPU that is, as most evidence points to, somewhat weaker than the Xbox One. Winner? Xbox One. Controllers, the thing you'll be holding on to the whole time that you're using your system. The Xbox One controller is undeniably a very comfortable controller. However, the gamepad is surprisingly comfortable as well. And the dual vertical analog sticks makes any game frequently requiring the right stick far more comfortable and accurate. Additionally, the gamepad's off-TV play, which goes highly underappreciated, is far more comfortable and functional when you just want to lay down while you play some games. Other than my preference for the right vertical analog stick, the Xbox One controller is a solid piece of kit. Sorry, I do like the Xbox One controller, I really do. But the gamepad is comfortable despite its size, and off-TV play means you can poop while you're playing Mario Kart 8. Winner? Wii U. Let's also look at the features of both systems, or the built-in software if you will. The Xbox One has every feature you can imagine, from 5-minute DVR game recording to cross-game party chat to Twitch streaming. Essentially, the Xbox One is jam-packed with every feature you can think of. The Wii U, on the other hand, is pretty bare bones. You don't have cross-game party chat, no forms of streaming, and no forms of built-in gaming DVR. What it does do, though, is add Miiverse, a system-centric community that is surprisingly intimate and artist-friendly. Unfortunately, there's no denying the wealth of options the Xbox One provides, so winner, Xbox One. And finally, let's look at the games. At this point, it's Xbox One 2 and Wii U 3. All that's left is the games. While the Wii U has far stronger and more unique exclusives, the Xbox One is getting every multi-platform game you can imagine, plus a fairly decent exclusive lineup. This makes the games a tie between the two. Winner? Both. In conclusion, the Wii U barely squeezes ahead of the Xbox One. Truth be told, you can't go wrong with either of these systems. Both provide a fair gaming experience to their owners, and thus, even as a Nintendo fan, I cannot fault a person for purchasing an Xbox One. That's it for today, folks. Facebook, Twitter, you know the drill. See you next time on the Xbox Hut.